Good morning, everyone, and I am Dr. Kiran Sri, the coordinator of this faculty development program. On behalf of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Sri Vishnu Engineering College for Women, Bhimavaram, I wish to welcome all the participants and resource persons to the fourth day of faculty development program in recent advances in artificial intelligence from 23rd of this month to 27th of this month. It's a privilege to introduce Srimati Usha Devi. She is working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at University College of Engineering, Kakinada. She has received her MTech degree from JNTU, Kakinada, where she has studied under University College of Engineering. She has received her MTech degree from University College of Engineering, Kakinada in 2010. She is pursuing her PhD from NIT Tiruchi. She has published more than 50 papers in various international journals and conferences of highest repute. She got more than 10 years of teaching experience. She also authored 4 textbooks on artificial intelligence. Her bibliography was listed in Marcus Lewis for the whole USA. Has research areas includes deep learning, natural language processing, and artificial intelligence. With this small introduction, I would like to welcome Srimati Usha Devi, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science in University College of Engineering, Kakinada, this faculty development program. And Madam, you can share your PPT now. Hello?
Hello.
Please go ahead, madam.
So, are you able to view the screen?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
I welcome all the participants for today's session on the topic Text Analytics AI Perspective. The topics of the session were introduction, overview, applications, and application strategies, case study, development environment, challenges, references. The outcomes of the session. So participant is able to understand and apply the concepts of text mining, text analytics, tools and methods, visualizations. Before going to know what is text analytics and how to apply it, I would like to pose one question. How do you purchase a product? For example, if you want to purchase an air conditioner, how you are going to purchase it? Maybe these are the choice. Sir, excuse me, sir, there is some noise is coming.
Sudhir. Sir, please unmute all the participants.
Okay, sir, thank you. Shall I continue?
Please continue.
How do you purchase a product? These are the four choice. You may have these 4 choice. One is you may ask your friend about his views, or you may discuss with your family members, or you can also see the ratings of the air conditioner that you want to purchase in any website like Amazon. But if you are not satisfied, that means if you feel that it is unfair, then you can also see the review text given by the customers who purchased the product. Suppose there are 100 reviews. So among those reviews, 90 reviews are saying that the product is good and it is in good condition, or it is up to the mark that I found, like that. If 10 reviews are saying that the product is not good and it is not working good, it is a duplicate one, then what is your decision on this purchase? If your objective is to purchase the product, then definitely your decision, in a genuine case, your decision should be purchasing the product, right? Suppose the reviews are crossing hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, lakhs, like that. Maybe in that product case, suppose there are 1,000 reviews. You can't go through all the 1,000 reviews. You need to, you may take some random reviews. But here there is a possibility of biasing. Maybe if those random reviews are telling only positive words about the product, then it's definitely a wrong decision, right? So here automation is required. The process of analyzing this text and deriving some conclusion is called text analytics. Introduction of text analytics. So this text analytics is an artificial intelligence methodology that uses NLP to transform the unstructured data. That means the data is not organized in a proper way. So that will be in unstructured format, and that will be converted into some structured format in a normalized way, so that we can do some analysis using the ML and NL methods. So here ML indicates the machine learning methods and DL is the deep learning solutions, which I would like to discuss in next slides. So briefly, I'm giving the points of text analytics: text categorization, sentiment analysis, deriving statistical inferences, finding patterns, knowledge discovery, text summarization. Here, text categorization. I can give an example. Suppose every day you are going to see the newspaper, right? If I pose a question, where will be the cricket match details? You're going to say it will be in a sports column. So suppose if I ask any question like, what is the stock market status today? Then it will be in business column. So text categorization means identifying the right category for the text. Sentiment analysis, as said before, to identify the sentiment about a particular product. Sentiment means positive or negative comment of the customer. So we are going to use the sentiment analysis. Deriving statistical inferences. Suppose for a particular product, how many people gave positive rating? How many people gave average rating? How many people gave... Hello? Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So how many people gave positive rating? How many people gave negative rating? How many people gave neutral rating? This can also be inferred. Finding patterns. We can process certain part of text and see and can predict what is the next word for that sentence. After that sentence, what is the next word? Knowledge discovery. Here we can also identify the relation among the words, relation among the sentences to infer some knowledge. Text summarization. Suppose a paragraph is given, it's like a news paragraph. What can be the suitable headline, or what can be the short notes for that text? I think this kind of questions will be given in a GRE exams, right? So it is similar to that. So many people will get a doubt after seeing the text analytics title. What is the difference between the text analytics? From long time onwards, we are listening to data analytics or data mining. Here, the difference is the text analytics uses natural language processing, which is an intersection point of linguistics and computer science. Here, linguistics means the natural languages, Spanish, English, Telugu, Hindi, Tamil, like that. Whereas in data mining, we don't discuss that word, linguistics. See this example. I kept a piece of text here. It's a partial text only. You can observe that what kind of text it is. So if you see the source for the text here, there is a source column. In the source column, it is written, it's from Twitter. So it's a tweet. This text is representing a tweet. Intentionally, I kept hashes there. There will be a lot of text will be there. Unnecessary, that is not required for us now. So you can see there are different hyperlinks, different symbols, other words also. So from this text, what you can infer? So somewhat it is easy to observe because it's a short text. Make it easy. In first line, it is saying, make it easy, protect yourself and others with these life hacks. It is related to the lockdown. You can also see the word lockdown here, lockdown extension. So it is related to the lockdown. So whether this text is giving the good information or bad information, whether this is useful or not. So I hope so. It is giving a good information. Okay, this is the inference here. It is a simple text to be easily found. What is the inference? Suppose there will be many tweets going on during this lockdown time about the lockdown rules and all. Then it will be large set of text, right? So how to get the inference from the text? How to process it? Before going to process or identifying the inference, first of all, we need to do some mining on the text, eliminating the unnecessary things, unnecessary symbols, and make it ready for the analysis purpose. The prayer part is called text mining. The latter part is called text analytics. So I am going to tell in a clear view. See this. So the left side, you can see different types of sources to extract text. The newspapers or news media, social media, organizational data, and personal data also. From this, text is emerging. So the emerged text is going to be processed or mined using NLP techniques. So NLP tools and methods are very helpful in performing this text mining. And later, to get the inference, we use text analytics. This part is text mining, this part is text analytics. So what is the output here? The output may be a data visualization concept, or it may be a result in the form of text. So how visualizations are useful instead of this text, later we'll see in next slides. Applications. So we are going to use this text analytics in sentiment analysis, summarization of paragraphs, user emotion analysis. This is a new term, right? What is user emotion analysis? Suppose if I give a sentence, how are you? If the user is replying using some negative words like it's very bad, I'm depressed, like that. So based on the vocabulary that he is using, what is his emotion? You can easily find out using text analytics. Topic modeling. So as I discussed before, if a newspaper is there, there will be a set of news items. So how to categorize those items under topic sport, topic business, topic entertainment, like that. Text analytics at the rate of companies. So nowadays, these companies are using the text analytics much more. IBM SPSS text analytics tool, which is also available for trial version. We generally use for research purpose to draw the diagrams. IBM Watson Natural Language Understanding and Google Cloud Natural Language APIs and Microsoft Azure Text Analytics APIs. Application strategy. So initially, we need to do the text mining. That means it's like cleaning the text. Later, text analytics. Identifying the right model for it. to derive the conclusion. And next, visualization. So I'm going to explain this application strategy one by one using a case study, sentiment analysis. The sentiment, before going to understand what is sentiment analysis, first of all, we need to be familiar with some concepts. NLP, the packages, and next we go for the ML approach to sentiment analysis and DL approach to sentiment analysis. Here ML refers to machine learning and DL refers to deep learning. Next, how to visualize this sentiment analysis. Here, sentiment analysis, the name itself says that the text contains different types of sentiments. Here you can observe the sentiments, user sentiments, like some people may share satisfied with the product, great, not satisfied, very bad, bad, poor, excellent, not good. All these are sentiments. Concepts of sentiment analysis: tokenization, cleaving, stemming, lemmatization, packages. Here, these concepts are not only present in sentiment analysis, a case study of sentiment analysis in which all these concepts were used. Tokenization. So instead of keeping all the things in a single column, here you can see in picture they kept one separator, right? Similarly, but in a tokenization, the sentence is separated. Here I have used a delimiter space. So the sentence is divided into a set of words. Next, cleaning test. So here you can observe, we can observe the symbols, open brace, close brace and all. So whether these symbols are required to process the information, to process the sentiment analysis, and what we require in order to process the statement, we need to identify. So cleaning test contains these steps. So here we need to observe stop words, symbols, numeric values, specific strings, short words, duplicates. NLTK toolkit contains the stop words, which are already predefined, like all the articles there are like that. Symbols, have you seen the previous example? Here there are symbols, right? Open brace, close brace. So all these are symbols. Numeric values, maybe like numeric numbers, 2, 3, 4, like that. And specific strings. Suppose if you take a Twitter communication, there will be postings like a yo-yo or done, like that. It will be common words. So if you want to eliminate those specific strings which are not useful for our sentiment analysis, you can eliminate that. Short words. Short words are single letters. Sometimes in processing, we'll get meaningless words also. So how to deal with that meaningless words of single letter, 2-letter words? So you can also eliminate such a kind of words. But the problem is, if there is a word called US, we're talking about a product here. If there is a word called US in the text, so how to consider that one? Whether it is a specific string to be eliminated or short word to be eliminated, what is that? So here US indicates United States. So we can't eliminate that string now. What to do then? So before going to eliminate such a type of short words, you need to find what are the important abbreviations. So if you replace the US with the United States, then you can eliminate the short words. So duplicates, whether to remove the duplicates or not, it is also one question. The reason is, sometimes depending on the application, we need to think about how many times the word is occurring. What is the importance of word? Suppose if you read a newspaper, in every highlight, if there is a word lockdown, then that is the most important topic now, right? If you process the news, then you are going to get the most frequent items as COVID-19, coronavirus, or lockdown. So these are the most important words representing the hot topics in today's scenario. So before going to delete the duplicates also, you need to think about it. It depends on the application. Next is stemming. So when I'm saying that deleting duplicates of word, first of all, how to compare? Suppose there are two words like purchased, purchase. Those two are representing same. But but before stemming, they both are considered as two different words. But after stemming, we'll get only single root word for them, which improves the count of the particular word occurrence. So here we have a different types of stemmers: Porter stemmer, Snowball stemmer, Lancaster stemmer. In English, we generally use the Porter stemmer. So you can see that. Suppose the statement is a natural language processing is a subset of artificial intelligence, you will get a stemmer like this. If you apply the Porter stemmer, it is generated by the Python program. This Porter stemmer program is generated by Python program. The class for the Porter stemmer is Porter stemmer. It will be present in analytic.stem. Just indicated the class names also. If you apply lemmatization, this is also generating a root word, but the lemmatization works somewhat good for us. If the data is short, if the text is short, then we can apply lemmatization. You can observe that WordNet lemmatizer is a class for the lemmatization. So here you can observe the natural language processing, everything is same. This is also generated by the Python program using the WordNet lemmatizer. Stemming versus lemmatization. So here, suppose if you want to process a word, then whether stemming should be used or lemmatization should be used if you want to process a document. So depending on the requirement, like if you, this means stemming follows an algorithm, so it executes in less speed, but it may not give the right meaningful word. It will give the root word, but not meaningful word always. So, but in case of lemmatization, it uses WordNet. This WordNet consists of semantic relations between the words, more than 200 languages. We can use this WordNet, but it takes like overhead on the program. It takes some time. So if the timing is important, then you need stemming. If you feel that the words are very important, then you need to go for the lemmatization. Next, packages useful for sentiment analysis or text analysis. sklearn, Keras, NLTK, TextBlock, Genesys. Using sklearn, we can try and test models. So later in the next discussions, we can see how these packages are very helpful for text analytics. Here, ML approach for sentiment analysis. I'm considering the movie reviews here. So tokenization, cleaning, stemming, or lemmatization. Movie reviews means how the movie review will be. Here I have taken an example. Titanic is a wonderful movie. So if you apply the tokenization, cleaning, stemming on that particular sentence, this particular movie 1, movie 2, movie 3, movie 4. There is a problem in moving the slides. It's taking some time. Okay. Sir, am I audible now?
Yes, yes, you're audible, please.
Okay,
Madam.
may I continue? Okay. So base classifier for sentiment analysis. So before, it's a lexicon based approach. That means the sentence should be divided into set of words. So here I'm taking classes of 3: positive, negative, neutral. Initially, I need to distribute the one to all this. One means probability equal to 1. The probability of positive is 0.3. That means there are 0.33. That means 33% positive reviews will be there for a picture. Negative reviews will be 33%. Neutral reviews will be 33%. So now how to compute this? Whether the review is a positive or negative, how to tell this? So for this, the formula is, initially we need to compute P of review by positive is equals to T1 by positive, T2 by positive into Tn by positive. So here T1 to Tn is all the words in the reviews. That means that in the review statement, what are the words for that particular term to be positive? That particular probability should be calculated initially. So probability that each word in the review can be classified as positive. So what I get, P of positive by review is equals to P of review by positive into, and so on. This is a Bayesian classifier only. That formula we are using here. We'll see one example here. Titanic is a wonderful movie. So I'm taking the count of Titanic word in the reviews will be 340. The total positive reviews will be 1200. Then what is the probability of Titanic by positive? Obviously, it is reported by 1200 only. It is 28%. Saying that Titanic is a positive word. Similarly, I'm considering like this: the wonderful by positive is 0.2 and movie by positive is 0.0. Then what is the review could be positive? What is the probability that that review could be positive? P of review by positive into P of positive. So these values I'm substituting here: 0.28, 0.9 and 0.52. Then overall positive reviews are 33%, right? So I'm taking here 0.33. So entirely I'm getting 0.04324. This is the score of the review to get a positive value. So limitation. Here name Bayesian method considers that there is no relation among the words. But usually we get the relation among the words. Right? So it won't work for the practical applications actually. But if you want to perform the sentiment analysis without any overhead, then you can go for the Bayesian, thinking that all the words are independent. Next, DL approach to sentiment analysis. Here the same procedure is applied in text mining. But in case of the analytics, using the deep neural networks, you need to focus on word embedding, modeling the layers of deep neural networks, training and validation. So finally, this is also going to generate visualization. Here, I don't think that the both visualizations will be same. I kept here the same. For simplicity, I kept the same visualization, saying that it is going to infer some information like word embedding. So what is this word embedding? So deep neural network is a complex neural network that is used to process the high dimension informations in a large scale. So here we can't apply the sentence to the deep neural networks as it is. We need to convert them into some sort of vectors. So the process of converting the words into vectors is called word embedding. So example embeddings are word to vector embedding, glow embedding. So after converting it into vectors, these vectors are submitted to the input layer of the deep neural network. So here keras.layers. The Keras package is very helpful in order to model the deep neural networks. So this Keras API is a hello. Hello, sir, is it audible now?
Yes, yes,
Hello?
please go ahead.
Okay. The Keras API works on the top of TensorFlow. These two are very helpful in modeling the deep neural networks. So once the vectors are submitted to the input layer that is going to be processed, and we are expecting the output layer that should give the sentiment values. It depends on what is the input dimension, how many neurons are there, what is the output dimension, how many hidden layers are there, how many neurons are there, and what is the learning rate of the network. So for this, there is one facility called grid search, because we always bother about how to make a decision of all these parameters. So we can use this grid search method, which is developed by the sklearn, which is present in the sklearn model selection, to identify all these hyperparameters. I'm discussing only some parameters. There will be many, like dropout and optimization parameters for deep networks. Next, to train and validate. Here, the training and validation is very important. This should be done without a data bias. Suppose if you train on only positive, if you divide the entire data set into 80-20, if the first 80% contains 70% positive reviews, then definitely you will get a biased output. So you need to focus on data bias. To avoid the data bias, we can go for the K-fold method, which is present in the sklearn package. So here, what is this K-fold method? Randomly selecting the training and validation datasets. So due to this, our model will be trained without any bias. So underfitting and overfitting also be taken care in case of training and validation. So what are the development environments for the text analytics? So we can go for a Jupyter notebook. I'm talking about the programming in Python. Jupyter notebook is very useful. PyCharm IDE is also very useful. Anaconda distribution that gives a spider compiler, that is very useful. But the Jupyter notebook gives the immediate result. So once you load the data set, you no need to go for, that means once you load the data set, you can do many operations on the data set. Whereas if you take any spider compiler or PyCharm IDE, these are compilers. Whenever you are writing a program, every time you need to run and compile and run. Due to this, it will be like a overhead only. So when you are going to practice or experiment anything, better to go for a Jupyter notebook. If you want to do a set of files, which is a project, then you can go for this Spider compiler or PyCharm IDE. So MATLAB is also adding the Python facilities from 2019 onwards, and it is R2019B version. From that version onwards, it added the Python. You can also go for that. Visualizations. Till now, what we see is whenever there is some statistical inference, then only the visualizations are very helpful. This is our myth actually. So there are different types of visualizations provided by this Matplotlib SPSS tool developed by IBM MathWorks for NLP also. Here you can see the first one is a word cloud. This is called as a word cloud, where you can see some letters are very big, some letters are very small. That means the words that has more frequency of occurrence in the text that can be generated like this with a big font, and the words very small can be generated with a small font. It's customization only. You can also customize this one. So word cloud is also very useful for the text analytics visualization. Next, there are qualitative color maps. This is also one type of color map. And here you have seen this already. And word embeddings. So I explained a concept called knowledge discovery, right? Knowledge discovery. Here in knowledge discovery, how the words are related to each other is very important. The related word should be shown. That means visualization means the related word should be shown in a group, right? So for that kind of visualizations, word embeddings are very helpful. word embedding. This kind of visualization is very helpful. Scatter plots. We call this one as scatter plots. Here you can see the word embedding using TSNE plot, scatter plot. The related words are near to each other. So there are many more types of visualizations. You can browse this matplotlib.pyplot to get the visualization there in the website. I already attached the references that I have used for this presentation at last. You can go to the references. Otherwise, you can also use the different types of visualizations provided by the SPSS and MathWorks. So what are the challenges here in text analytics? Simply, I'm explaining one case. Suppose there is a word called stock is very high. The stock value of so and so is very high. Suppose stock value of X is very high. How to understand that particular statement? So maybe the coronavirus protection kits or testing kits stock is very high. The stock of that kits are very high. Means very high in number means there are available, many more available, or it may be about a stock market data. We don't know that. So depending on the domain also meaning changes. So every time a word may not have the same meaning. So depending on the context, it changes. So mainly in English language, there are such words are very more when compared with the other family languages. So establishing a contextual data structure, promote data quality and veracity. Yes, these are the challenges. We need to accept many. Sir, hello.
Madam, please.
Sir, how much time I have?
You can take 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes? Okay. Thank you, sir. Some noise is coming from other side. Challenges, promoting data quality and veracity. Different types of uh, text data should be accepted. And suppose if the statistical data is mixed up with the normal text data, then how to infer the conclusion? Suppose there are COVID-19 deaths statistics is there. So here how to, it means based on the place, there will be a numeric value assigned to it. How to understand the type of text, how to analyze the type of text, and establishing contextual data structure. So here meaningful, how to create a meaningful data structure. This is also one challenge. So recently I have seen graph-based representations to promote such a kind of a contextual representation of text. So that is also one kind of a research going on graph-based structures for text analytics. Achieve semantic disambiguation and decoding of textual content. So here I explained before that the text word may not have the same meaning. There will be some ambiguity inside it. Depending on the context, it changes. How to decode it, how to understand it, how to interpret it. So everything is a hot topic in research. So there is a more scope to explore in these areas. So you can go for this product and you can go to all these references. Will get very useful information. And mainly the scikit-learn. Somebody is asking what are the tools available. Here, instead of using tools, better to develop some Python programs using all the available tools. Scikit-learn and the package Zenisim. Explain some packages, right? Zenisim package, TextBlob. For sentiment analysis, TextBlob is very useful. Zenisim package to generate the embeddings, word embeddings. There are certain things like the WordNet also gives the pre-trained embeddings. Pre-trained embedding means already there are some words which has vectors, and now we can use them for our purpose. But here the problem is whenever it entire thing depends on how you collected the data. What is the sort of data that you have? Suppose if you are working with some sort of Twitter data, then it may not work. In Twitter data, you can observe. Yes, sentiment analysis on COVID-19 datasets mean you can browse the Kaggle website. Kaggle website, Kaggle, Kaggle website to get such a kind of datasets. Recently, they are uploading the COVID-19 datasets. Hello.
Madam.
This kind of things are very helpful for you in order to write the Python programs, PyCharm IDE or a Jupyter Notebook. So are there any questions?
See, you can type your questions in the chat box so that madam can take one by one.
This is the disclaimer. And thank you. If you have any questions, you can post in chat box.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you very much, madam, for enlightening us on various aspects of text analytics, foundations of text analytics, the applications, various strategies of text analytics, the case studies, and how can we apply deep learning into this text analytics. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir. I thank Dr. P. Chemistry sir and Dr. Purushottam Raju sir for inviting me to the FTP. Thank you.
And the next session start at 11 o'clock sharp.
May I leave the meeting now, sir?
Please.